Hey everybody, welcome to week number 4. So this week we're going to be talking about who our learners are. That's going to be the focus because ultimately the work that we're going to do with designing lessons, designing units, integrating technology is going to be for the benefit of the students that we're serving. If you're outside of the classroom, you can model this on a teacher that potentially you would be supporting. So for example, if you're in an administrative role and you knew that you were going to do some coaching cycles with a teacher, you would do this to fit their needs. Same as if you're in a coaching role. So the big picture is that as you begin working on your signature assignment, other than the Twitter chat, the majority of the work that you do the rest of the semester is going to build towards the signature assignment. So for this module, we address the standards, objectives, demographics, UDL, and ELD, all while mapping out your student or your units. These lessons and the implementation process are going to be shared within the course, and there's potential for you to later make these public as well. And I'll give you more information on that. So first, as you pick your standards, you need to make sure that the standards are being addressed at the rigor that they are. So, for example, you select a specific grade level that's seventh grade and or eighth grade, and it's talking with like algebra and linear relationships. Now, within that standard, kids are probably graphing. Kids might be talking about proportions and ratios, but it's not the same as what kids would be doing at seventh or sixth grade. So if you're not addressing the standard at the rigor of the lesson, then you're not meeting the needs of this specific assignment. So you got to make sure that you're doing what the standards that you select are asking for. You can select 1, 2, 3 standards, but ultimately you want to meet the needs for the standards, or you want to meet the requirements for those standards, and you're going to be having to assess that somehow. The next big piece is that before, when you were addressing the situations in the lesson remixes, you were looking at the composites that I created. So I had these, kind of fictitious student scenarios. You're going to be creating your own character composite based off of maybe either your own experiences, but you want to make sure that you don't make it in a way that's identifiable for students. And you also don't want to, we don't want to make crude caricatures of our students. So as you create your unit, create your lessons, you want to make sure that, you're coming back and you're thinking about those composite characters to think, am I meeting the needs of all learners and these learners? So for this one with the readings, you're going to have a character composite. Everybody's going to be looking at that. You're going to be selecting the standards that you're going to be working through. So you want to make sure that you look through that documentation. However, if there's something that's not on here, you can use that. Let's see. Now with task, what you're going to do is you're going to force copy the unit planning document, and you need to share that with me, okay? Because that's how I'm going to be able to help you and keep track of the work and make sure that you're on the right place. You're going to begin working on your slides 3, 4, and 5. Those are going to include everything that you need to be doing by October 2nd. I pushed the due date for that back one more week. The other thing is, so this is the uni planning document. It's very dry, there's no frills about it. It tells you here when everything is due. It gives you some examples. So these are some examples that I added. It shows you, like, again, very specific examples of, what you're submitting. But you can change up this document as much as you want. So if you want to use a template with it, change the slides, jazz it up, that's all up to you. If you have something better than this, by all means use it. I feel free to wow me. I like seeing and learning new things. So for all, for all intent and purposes, please, go outside the box if you have to. Now with the lesson plan doesn't have a formal template either. So I'm using the same lesson plan that I'd shared with you all. So I'm not logged in here. You got to make sure that you log in so you get access to that lesson plan. But it's one that I shared before. But what your lesson plan does need is it needs the ELD strategies targeting the student needs of your profile or within your class. So remember, when you were looking at that matrix, it showed emerging, bridging, and expanding. You got to make sure that if you're saying your students are at that level, that those are the strategies you're using. The UDL strategies, you want those to be specific to the needs of your students. or the student profiles. When you create your character composite, use UDL strategies that will support that student. And then for technology integration, you want to consider, are you using SAMR, are you using TPAC? And then what effect is that going to have on your lesson plan? Because you're going to share that when you come back and report it, as well as an assessment. The rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. You'll be able to come in and check it out. And again, the due dates are all there. Ultimately, like our goal, what is our goal here? Our goal is to be innovative, try some things, think outside the box. Use the theories and frameworks for SAMR and TPAC to integrate technology in a way that really brings out the best of your students, and make sure that you're using like appropriate UDL, ELD strategies to support your students. Now, what you want to avoid is a situation where we're kind of water hosing everything into like this super ideal lesson plan or this magical unit. For example, like we're not just going to say, we're going to do word banks, sentence starters, multiple images, blah, 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 and try everything. No, like make it for the needs of your class and for the needs of your student. If you're looking at this, or your students, the character composites, if you're looking at this from the lens of like, who is your audience? You want your audience to be new teachers. Why do you want your audience to be new teachers? Because when you're working in education and you're a leader, and all of you are getting your master's at this point, which is going to put you in that leadership bracket, whether it's a leader at PLC, a leader at a school site, or a leader outside of the school site completely. People look towards you to be able to support new teachers, and so write this as if it's kind of your secret sauce to support teachers. This also goes with what our other assignment is, which is the Twitter chat questions. Don't overthink the Twitter chat questions. It's very straightforward. At CSUB, every fall we have every fall and spring we have a Twitter chat where the questions are created by master's students, and they're given to undergrad students. You're going to have like 200 undergrad students that are here for a week. I'm part of this discussion on Twitter or X. Each question drops throughout the week. So it's like question one on Monday, question 2 Tuesday, question 3 Wednesday, question 4 Thursday. And these are some of the actual questions that students had made before. So what has been your favorite technology resource in EDT 4200? Why? Or no, these are the older questions. And we want to make those more dynamic, more inclusive, more equity minded. And so some of the examples, let's see. How can you use technology as a tool to enhance and enrich the learning experience for all your students? For instance, how do you plan on using technology with your students in a way that changes the typical textbook worksheet experience to an engaging 21st century learning experience? That's a solid question that came from a previous student, a master's student. So we're replacing this question here with this question. But what we're going to do is you're going to be putting your name over here on the left-hand side, and then you're going to be giving some suggestions, whether it's a suggestion for question 1, or you're going to give suggestions for question 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then at the end of the week, I'm going to be selecting the questions that come from the master students. And then we'll be sharing those on week 6 with all the undergrads and new teachers. And it's pretty cool. It gives you an idea and a different perspective from which you're going to get to share. And so that kind of rounds out the leadership component for this course. You're learning about, meeting the needs of all students. You're practicing designing equitable lessons and integrating them with technology. And then now here with the Twitter chat, you're going to be guiding and promoting the next generation of teachers. So it's some couple moving parts going, but exciting stuff. These are all the types of things that you're doing regularly in the class. More than anything, this is about documenting it, refining your practice, and then sharing it with the community. So keep reaching out if you have any questions, and I look forward to continue seeing the work.